So the last few weeks I spent on OpenGL to create a GPU accelerated application, and the idea behind it is I want to free up the CPU from doing anything so that I have a main thread where I can do things like audio processing in hopefully the most isolated way possible. Also, because visualizing things using without a GPU is painful, and the WPF performance I was getting was very minimal, and so that's why I went to OpenGL. Now you can see in my video history that the last time I showed off anything, it was showing off the dots that were flying around, but I didn't like the design of the application, and I wanted to make my own design first to make it more real. And so along with that, I spent some time creating a basic user interface framework. Sounds sounds more than it really is, because really all I was doing was finding a way to have the GPU do indirect sorting and rendering of things like quads, lines, text, and icons. Now, at the end of the day, all of it is just triangles and quads, some of them with a texture, some without another one, but the way you implement it is kind of up to you, I guess. And I tried to get the very minimal implementation. Reason for that is because I want to move to Vulkan at some point, and I even want to move my code to C++ at some point. And the best way to do that is to get a working version, a prototype that's very minimal, and then move the minimal version to the actual preferred code so that you don't end up having to report an entire application. Right, so today I got the depth sorting and the clipping regions working, which really is the final amount of things I need working. I understand how to do that now using fragment shaders, really. And so I'm able to copy over this design I have here that I made in Figma based on some inspiring designs by people who remade Blender and all of that. Just a very dark grayscale design. And I'm going to use a borderless window where the top of it will be a clipped region for the title bar, or more specifically, I'm going to make a clipping region only for the middle area, which is going to contain all of the actual content. And then at the top, you will be rendering the icon, some text, some 3 buttons, and that's really it. And after I got that working, obviously it is time to move on to the next part, which I'm not really sure which step it's going to be yet, because I have 2 different directions where I want to go with this. But for future demonstration purposes, at least I'll be able to render some good data now, like dots and graphs and etc.